It's been a few months since the attack on Paul Pelosi, and the truth is set to come out as the judge has ruled that the body cam footage should be released to the American public. Talks about the debt ceiling has now gotten Social Security involved, but this time it could be good news as high-ranking Republicans are saying that the Social Security, SSI, SSDI, and government benefits should not be cut at all. President Biden's announcement of tanks doesn't seem to be enough, as now aircrafts are being requested. Can you guys believe that? I wonder who's paying for all this. Shocker, right? And a top Pfizer official has now been caught on record to admitting that they plan to alter the C19 virus in order to make new vaccines ready for the public. Do you guys think that this may do more harm than good? Comment a quick yes or no on that one. Now, before I continue, please take a second, drop a like for the video. I really appreciate the support. This definitely helps get this information out, and it helps out with the YouTube algorithm, as a lot of times this information does get suppressed. So I appreciate you guys. And if you're in need of your daily dose of the truth when it comes to what's actually happening in Washington, D.C., Social Security, the economy, SSI, SSDI, the housing market, the stock market, and everything that matters to our families, our lives, and our bank accounts, make sure to subscribe to the channel. All right, guys, let's go and get started. Oh, and by the way, if you own a home, make sure your home is protected. Get your free home warranty quote. The link is in the description down below. It only takes like 15 seconds. All right, so it's normal to be curious. I believe it's part of human nature. Now, if you're not questioning something, wouldn't that be kind of odd? Like you just kind of like went along with everything and you didn't wonder stuff, right? Now, if you guys remember, Paul Pelosi, husband of Nancy Pelosi and clairvoyant investor, he was attacked or allegedly attacked in their San Francisco home late last year. Now, we haven't really heard very much from it. By the time you see this video, more information may have already come out. Now, a San Francisco judge, Stephen Murphy, has now ruled that there was no reason to keep the body cam footage of the incident a secret, even with the prosecutor's request to do so. The alleged attacker has already pled not guilty to 6 charges, even though police have said that he wanted to harm Nancy Pelosi as she was second in line to the presidency and that there was evil in Washington. The body cam footage is hopefully already up when I post this, and it's going to be very interesting to see if the stories told to the media will actually match the video. Remember when I told you guys that Paul was such a good investor that he's basically clairvoyant? It's now come to light that he sold 30,000 shares of Google stock last December, just a few weeks before the Justice Department sued the tech company over alleged antitrust violations.
$3 million worth of Google stock they sell the last week of December, just 3 weeks before DOJ and 8 states, including California, where she kind of knows a few people in California. Yeah. She probably knows what's going on there. Sue Google and tank the stock for all the chumps and losers who didn't offload it at Christmas last year. No, it's genius. But actually, I think she's in the wrong line of work. You know what she should do? She should get herself a show called Pillow Talk Strategic Investing Advice and share with the world all of the pillow talk that she shares with her husband to make all this brilliant amount of money.
Wow, this guy is good. Look at the timing. It's like kind of like just getting out of the building before the explosion. He made a good investment decision, but I'm confused as to why Senator Josh Hawley wants to push the Pelosi bill, and he's using this instance of Paul selling shares before a highly controversial issue with Google. It can't possibly be insider information. They've already told us that they don't do that. Now, if you believe that, I've got some oceanfront property right in the middle of Nebraska that I want to sell you. So who else are we supposed to trust if our own lawmakers are going to lie right to our faces? George Santos? Anyway, the Pelosis have made a good amount of money in the stock market, but do you think that this bill would suddenly sap Paul of his clairvoyancy with the stock market? Here's something that a lot of people saw coming. Former President Donald Trump is back on Facebook and Instagram. This lines up very well with his plans for 2024, but not everyone's happy that he's being presented opportunities to widen his reach. Angelo Caruso, CEO of the media watchdog Media Matters for America, said, quote, "Make no mistake, by allowing Donald Trump back on its platforms, Meta is refueling Trump's misinformation and extremism engine. When Trump is given a platform, it ratchets up the temperature on a landscape that's already simmering, one that will put us on a path to increased violence," end quote. Others are saying that it's appropriate for the public to hear from political candidates, citing that this is a case of freedom of speech. Trump hasn't confirmed whether he's coming back to the platform platforms, but did say that, quote, such a thing should never happen again to a sitting president, end quote. Now, speaking of sitting, which rhymes with sting, well, anyway, work with me, people. A sting operation by Project Veritas has now uncovered that Pfizer is planning to mutate the C-19 virus. Jordan Walker, who allegedly serves as a director for the pharma giant, told A Date, who works for Project Veritas, that they were considering doing this so that they can come up with a new vaccine before new strands come out. Instead of calling it gain of function research, he called it directed evolution. Now, because of this, hashtag directed evolution trended on Twitter with a video coming out of Walker. In it, he also says that the initial C-19 virus didn't pop out of nowhere and most probably came out of Wuhan, China. He also called C-19 as a cash cow. Seriously, people? Businesses closed, millions of lives lost. Americans are now struggling to make ends meet and are maxing out credit cards, borderline homeless or evicted. Some on Social Security, SSI, SSDI, can't keep up with expenses, so they've been forced to cut out so much. But hey, at least Big Pharma continues to milk on their cash cow. This is unbelievable. When confronted by the footage, Walker said that he was just trying to impress his date. I want to ask you guys something. How much do you trust Big Pharma with everything that's happened? Now, if you ask me, I trust them about as much as I trust that the Pelosis have never stooped so low as to resort to insider trading. Now, on the topic of secret conversations, Republican U.S. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy has spoken to Democratic Senator Joe Manchin. Now, in their talk about the debt limit, McCarthy has agreed that they will not include cuts to Social Security and Medicare, echoing the same sentiment from former President Trump, who said that Americans worked for these benefits. They are entitled to it, and they deserve to get every penny that they put in. Senator Mitt Romney is also working on a bill that's backed by Manchin that would address shortfalls in some programs, one of them being Social Security. He said that, quote, we want to make sure that we don't ever cut Social Security benefits. We need to make sure that we do not reach that point of automatic spending cuts. And that's what this bill does, end quote. Some conservatives are calling for big cuts, which includes cuts for defense. Senator Rand Paul was quoted saying this: we have an opportunity here. Republicans have to give up their sacred cow that says we'll never touch a dollar in military spending. Everything would have to be looked at across the board, end quote. In other news that's completely unrelated to money being spent frivolously, Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky was pleased about the decision of sending Abrams tanks to their country. He said, quote, today is a day of extremely good news for Ukraine. There is a tank coalition. There is a decision to launch the supply of tanks for our defense, modern tanks. I am grateful to all of our allies for their willingness to provide us with modern and much needed tanks. All this proves the most important fact for the world today, the fact that freedom is only getting stronger, end quote. Not a day has gone by after President Biden's announcement, and Zelensky has already told NATO that he dreams of long-range missiles, artillery, and aircraft. I'm also dreaming of $1 million, but I don't think that the government is just going to freely hand that over to me. It hasn't even been a day and he's already asking for more stuff. I feel so bad for the people of Ukraine, as it seems like they're being used as pawns in this war. Man, forget the people of Ukraine. What about us? Tell me what you guys think about that. And let me know if you think that the Biden administration should consider sending aircrafts to the Ukraine as well. Now, here's something that I want you to consider. What if you have multiple streams of income through small businesses or side hustles? What if you got a paycheck every single day of your life? What if your cash flow was much better? What if someone could help you get your first side hustle or small business started? Maybe even starting in the stock market for the first time. Well, if any of this speaks to you, feel free to join us over in the Patreon community. There's a link in the description down below. Now, before I go, please don't forget to drop a thumbs up for the video. Totally appreciate the support. And also don't forget to subscribe for your daily dose of the truth. There's no sense in being quiet when we have all the facts. Appreciate you guys watching. I will see you guys on the next one. Be safe.